Hello viewers, welcome to Sahara TV. My name is Kwesi Baako. Last Monday, April 15th, a reclaimed mine, caved in the central regional town of Chichire in Ghana. This unprecedented nightmare caused a lot of frustration for families and also some form of embarrassment for the government. Joining me to speak about this issue from Ghana is Ohemeng Tawiah. Ohemeng Tawiah is a journalist with a multimedia group. Hello, Ohemeng Tawiah.
Thank you, Kwesi.
How are you doing today? Can you please update us on the issue about the accident at the unclaimed mine, briefly?
Yes, on last Monday in the morning around 9 o'clock GMT, residents of Chichire and Amuafo, I'm talking about two communities here, as they used to do for the past 1 month, they have been going to this abandoned mining pit to mine gold from this particular pit. So in the morning at 9 a.m., as they were there on their normal business day, the mine pit just carved in on them, claiming 17 lives on the spot. And it was such a devastating news because looking at how many people who were involved, 9 were from Chichiwere and 7 were also from Amuafo. And then the sad news is that a mother and her son, who is in the second year in the senior high school at the Dunkao Secondary Technical School, lost their lives. A husband, let me say a couple, also lost their lives in this particular pit. Yes.
Very sad, Ohemeng. How lucrative is this business? Is it, because I hear it's a reclaimed mine. It's a mine that's supposed to have been already extracted. Why were there so many people in this mine?
Yes, to the locals, they call it the opportunity for them to better their lives. For instance, this pit was owned by a small-scale miner who, after taking out the gold, left the place for the locals to also say, let's go and better our lives with little gold that we get from this pit. So it's not as lucrative as somebody may think, but to the local people, they think that no matter how they get from the mine, that is okay for them, because after all, they don't pay for land, they don't pay for anything, they don't pay any tax on these earnings that they make from mining.
I see.
So that is how it is.
I see. That's what is normally referred to as galamsey in Ghana, right?
Yes.
What is the government's position on galamsey? Year in, year out, we hear governments saying, oh, we're going to legalize it and make it mainstream, and then some other promises keep flying all over the place. What's the government's position on illegal mining?
Left to me as a journalist, I'll say the government, as we speak now, has not made its position clear on the issue. But one thing that is clear is that anytime there's an accident or there's an issue of this nature, government will come out and say, we are going to take this measure up, do this and do that. For instance, in the case of Chichewere, government says that from now onwards, it's taking action against illegal miners, though that has been the practice. For instance, when you go to Eastern region, last year, government, through the support of the national security, decided to take the war to the doorsteps of illegal miners, where some of their equipments and materials were seized. But since then, we haven't heard anything of that sort from government until we heard this Tishiwere incident.
I see. Ohemeng, have we heard from the families of these people? How are they taking the accident?
Yes, to the family, is a blow to them. For instance, a couple who lost their life went to the family house where they have a 4-bedroom apartment. And the question that kept on boggling my mind is, how come an elderly man with his wife would just go to do business in such an abandoned pit, looking at the fact that they have at least a house, a home where they can lay their head on. And I was a bit surprised, but unfortunately, when I spoke to few of residents and even the family members who have just lost their relatives, they said they did not show any sign of remorse. What they tell me is that if they have any opportunity, they'll still go back to Galamsey operation. So I'll say it's part of them now. You can't take it away from them.
That's really interesting. In the follow-up to the accident, we heard that Minister of Information, Muhammad Yariga, said the government did not need to send any message of condolences to the bereaved families. What is the update on that? Has the government changed its position?
No, the government's position still remains the same because government believes that illegal, something that is that is followed by or that is supported by the word illegal, it means illegal. So there's no way government will legalize Galamsey operations. And to me, I'll say it was a bit frustrating to hear government making such a pronouncement. But government has not reneged or has not decided to change its position on this matter. He says that once the activities of Galamsey operators are illegal, it continues to be illegal. So there's no way government will say we are sympathizing with the people who have lost their family members or relatives. But the best government can do is to also protect the people who are yet to fall victim of these illegal Galamsey operations.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Ohemeng. Has rescue operations ceased? Have they put a close to rescue operations, or what's going on? Do they still believe there are still people trapped in there?
Yes, when I spoke to some of the survivors, 4 people survived the incident, and I spoke to some of them, and they were of the belief that a lot of their colleagues were still trapped underground. So they wanted the authorities or government to take the matter up and continue with the rescue operation. But unfortunately, on Monday, when I visited Sichire, whilst rescue operations was ongoing, unfortunately, the national personnel of the National Fire Service, National Disaster Management Organization, and police, and the Municipal Security Council, they all came to the conclusion that indeed, if there were more bodies buried under the pit, they could have been retrieved. So they decided to end the rescue operations 10 hours after the illegal miners had been buried underground. So the operations ended less than 10 hours.
Let me clarify this with you, because initially we heard that the original owner of the mine said there were about 30 people in the mine. Now 18 of them have been brought out. Let's say maybe 22, because the 18 plus the other people who are in the hospital. What would have happened to these other people? They don't care at all?
They do care, but the information is that when you want to go ahead with a rescue operation of this nature, if you had been to the pit, then you will understand whether somebody would be able to survive living underground in a pit, which is a combination of both mud and then sand and all that. So it's a very, very deep trench where they use dredging machines like bulldozers, for instance, to dig the trench. So it makes it difficult for even anybody trapped underground, let's say 5 hours, to even survive. That is not possible.
So in other words, they've just, that happens to be their grave. They will just leave them to be trapped in there. Thank you very much, Ohemeng Tawiah.
This is not the first time. For instance, in last year, a similar incident happened at Achempim. Achempim is about 12 kilometers away from Chichiwere, where more than 100 people were buried underground. At the time that the minister, then Mr. Collins Dauda, ordered the closure of that pit, only 30 of them had been brought out. Even at that time, as the bulldozer try to bring out the sand and the mud and all that, you could see that body parts were scattered all over. So that is, to them, there's no need, even if there are more people trapped underground, to go ahead with this rescue operation.
Very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Thank you very much, Ohemeng Tawiah. We also hear that you are working on a documentary in which you reveal that children as young as 5 years are used in these, illegal operations. We look forward to getting back to you when that documentary is ready, and maybe you can share some of your findings with us.
Of course. It's an intriguing story to behold, as I personally decided to join the Galamsey operators to see how they operate. And I was surprised to see children of school-going age. And now that is a practice when you go to the north central region, western region, eastern, and then Ashanti region. It's a common practice to see minors as young as 5, between 5 and 10 years, actively engage in illegal operations, even at the watchful of their parents. They normally go there with their parents.
That is something that definitely needs to be checked. Thank you very much for making time to speak with us on Sahara TV, and we'll definitely get back to you as and when.
You're welcome, my brother.
Thank you.